Manchester United 1, Brentford 0, 3 points in the Premier League, KG, after a difficult performance at the weekend. We got there in the end. Difficult one tonight, just about, but 1-0, 3 points. How you feeling?
You know what? I'm really happy with the result, man. Again, Man United, we done the flexing KG and we said it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be one of those games where we just, 4-0, 5-0. It's not going to be one of those. We're gonna scrape through. But it's hard because the goals in the game, or the goal in the game doesn't reflect the outlook of the game. Because I thought Man United were in a lot of control in that game. I thought Man United should have scored more goals. We played worse, or we played not as good, right? And we scored more goals before. In this game, it's like we went full, we were bright, especially in the first half, and the stat piece wasn't there. But I'm happy with the result. All in all, that is a key result, really important result.
Yeah, really important result, especially again considering the weekend and considering. Let's be honest, like I think quite a few people. I remember even Flex was saying going into this, he's like, "We're not going to win. We're not beating Brentford at home."
I love him like that. I love him like that.
So we knew we were going to win. Talk to me about David De Gea, because look, a lot of people are talking about David De Gea over the weekend. What do you think of his distribution? What do you think of his saves this evening? Talk to me about Dave.
You know what? David De Gea knew that he was going against the guy that wants his share. You got a guy in there that was desperate to take him out of his position. And he said, not today. Like, I'm going to be involved. I'm going to make sure that I do what I need to do. And you saw it kick in today wasn't meant. There was even a time that David De Gea took the ball down from the air. What a control. The fans were nervy, dealt with it so nicely. That save, it should have been, let's have it right. There was a one-on-one. Saves it. David De Gea takes the injury as well. Like, I understand. We always say this. We understand what David De Gea's limitations are, but he was better today. Yeah, there was one or two wayward kicks where it kind of went straight to the opponent, but all in all, if someone's like a 9 out of 10, you can't be upset with him for that 1 point that he missed. And that's what he was today. David De Gea was key today. We don't get the result that we needed without David De Gea really showing up today. So it's another game where I can say, you know what, proud to have him in the sticks. However the season ends, however it ends, I still believe that, because Ten Hag knows what he has in David De Gea. Ten Hag understands this is a good keeper. This is a keeper that you can rely on, and there's other areas you need to fix before it. But I was impressed with David De Gea, but there's other players that I think really stood out for me today.
Well, go on. Who stood out for you?
You know what? And I was cussing him in the other game. McTominay had a good performance today.
I was going to ask you about the midfield pairing, because I don't know about you. I saw that team come out and I went, it's a bit of McTominay again. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? They did all right.
He stuck with it. And you know what? Even give Bruno some ratings as well. Deep, where he said he can't play. Does a decent job today. I'm not going to say he was the main man, but McTominay covered a lot of ground and he was putting out fires in places. That ball over the top to Sabitzer, that Sabitzer plays into Rashford and we get the goal from it. He was a big part of that. But I'm saying blocked clearances, driving forward. It was a good McTominay performance. He's not someone that you can't rant and rave and lose our minds and say, now McTominay's shooting guaranteed. But what we can say is there's enough to get us to the end of the season. And the best thing about this team was the application. It was speaking a long time, and I think it really hurt them. It hurt them with the response from like ex-players saying these guys are down tools, these guys are not in it. They wasn't ready. But then I thought that it was an over-exaggeration by like media pundits. I wish you got to do the breakdown of the press conference, the embargoed bit, because bloody hell, you would have lost your mind. With some of the questions, you would think we're in a relegation battle. You'd think we're Jurgen Klopp or Potter or Lampard. You think our manager was those.
You would have thought that, like Chelsea, Ten Hag would have had to, talk to Frank.
In the mud, Chelsea. That's hilarious though. Out of everything today, because I even being out here, I'm getting news and I'm looking from certain outlets. I'm like, can I trust this? When I saw Chelsea reappointed Lampard, I said, "Oh, this has got to be a joke." Turkey, I don't know what's going on here with the internet.
I'm hearing
I'm
Frank.
here.
I'm hearing Frank.
Sources close to the manager. But it's crazy. So yeah, just back on Man United, a lot of pressure, and the players really had a point to prove today. And I thought it was point proof, especially by a lot of players. A lot of players shone today, and I don't think we had any. I don't think we really had any passengers today.
What do you think of obviously Wout Weghorst didn't start. He was on the bench. Instead, we had Rashford, Sancho, Bruno, and Anthony. Do you think we look better without Wout? Do you think we look more fluid?
Absolutely. I thought it was one of our, it's just, it's hard because everyone was on it. So we have to take this with a pinch of salt, because I would say this has been Sabitza's best game in a Man United shirt for me. Just he was all over the place and a lot was getting for him. He looked so important to what Man United wanted to do today. So really happy about that. And then Sancho, this was probably one of Sancho's best games since, damn, I think it's one of Sancho's best games. if I'm being honest, because I'm really trying to go through and look at what he's done. Yes, he got to go in the Liverpool game, but I'm talking really effective from that left-hand side. He was all over the place, was running. He was take-ons, a few skills here and there, and I think he was just asking questions of the guy he was getting up against 1v1. So it's really harsh to drag Weghorst, but I wanted to see this. Again, Weghorst is not the best number 10. There's better players in that position. You have to play Rashford down the middle, because one thing that he is going to do is you have to follow him. So he creates space, and now you're seeing a lot more from Anthony. Was involved as ever in this game today. So was Sancho. There's so many spaces to pick up because defenders didn't have an easy job looking after a Wout Weghorst, right? So not saying that Wout can't offer us anything, but you just want to push the defenders back. I think it really helps us when our players are closer to their goal than they are, just easy to pick up, easy blocks, and just these slow, lethargic attacks.
Mm. And finally, then, obviously, get the 3 points. Does this take any of the pressure off Erik ten Hag? Does it get those people that are saying, "Oh, see, a couple of defeats, no reaction after the Liverpool result. That means that United are going to get the top 4. They're going to bottle it." Does that stop any of that in the media, or is that still going to be ongoing?
No, I think the pressure's, again, it's the Man United job and it's expected. And I think he knows what he's doing, taking this job, right? So I expect Ten Hag to take this in his stride. But I want there to be pressure. I need it to be, if we're not doing well, I need it to be a national crisis. That is the Man United way, unfortunately. Like, other teams can lose. Other teams, let's imagine we swap places with Liverpool, what they would have been like. Let's just imagine, like, this is where it was. It's an outcry of this. Is this person good enough? These guys were never good, this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, this is what comes with a job. But I need the players to understand that, again, as our manager says, good is not good enough. We have to strive to be one of the best. We're off it in terms of the top teams, in terms of just ending the season in like a title race or something. So we're off that, and that's the standard. That's really where we want to be knocking on the door. Unfortunately, our horse ain't in that race at the moment. And now we're facing a new type of race, which is top 4, but then we're giving ourselves a lot of avenues, Europa, this, and it's still other silverware to be won.
Still other silverware to be won. And just remember, guys, even in our worst Premier League season, could be worse, could be Chelsea. We're out there. Peace.